Today we celebrate the feast of Saints Peter and Paul. These two saints, really grounding and rocks of the church. We look, both of them were martyred, although at different times, in the city of Rome, where Peter was crucified upside down, because when they were going to crucify him, he said, "I'm not worthy to die the way my Lord did," and so they crucified him upside down. Of course, the Romans are more than happy to add even more affliction and pain to a given way of suffering. But and then Paul, because he was a Roman citizen, he was not able to be. They weren't able to crucify him, so they decapitated him. We look at these two men who really did so much for the founding of the church. Paul writing most of the New Testament, and Peter, who is the rock and the first pope. And they've been compared to, if I remember the names right, Romulus and Remus, the two founders of the city of Rome, the two that were the beginning of the Roman Empire. Now we look and we say, Jesus set up these two, Peter and Paul, for the foundations of the church, in opposition, as it were, to the secular pagan city and empire of Rome. He says, here's going to be an empire that will never fail, that will never end. And the most beautiful thing I think about it is who he chooses. He chooses Peter. And when you read through the Gospels, it seems like there's no one better than Peter at putting his foot in his mouth. Right? That here he has, yes, he has so much zeal, but he's also really doesn't always get it. Doesn't get the things right that Jesus is giving to him. He's the one that denies Jesus 3 times. But Jesus shows us love is more powerful than sin. Do you love me more than these? Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Feed my sheep. And then Paul, great intellect, but he was the enemy of the church, right? He was persecuting Christians. He was on his way to Damascus in order to be able to put Christians in chains and bring them back to Jerusalem for trial. He was the one that at the stoning of St. Stephen, he was saying yes to this and watching people's cloaks as they were grabbing their stones and throwing them at St. Stephen. These two men who, when you look at them from worldly standards, would not be people you would want really to be the foundings of your business or your organization. Because quite frankly, they're a mess. One is completely against you, and actually trying, not just against you, but trying to tear you down. And the other just can't seem to get out of his own way. And Jesus chooses those weak people to be the ones that would evangelize and share his name throughout the world. When I look at this feast day and I look at these two men, I think, I don't have any excuse. I have no excuse. There are so many times when I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm not up for this challenge, or I can't do this, or, I'm just too sinful. And the Lord says, yeah, I know. He never denies me any of those things. But he says, and yet I've chosen you. And he chooses you as well. Each of us. Despite our failings, despite our weakness, despite our inconstancy, he chooses us.